And welcome back to Property Palz. My name is Ben.
My name's Marcus.
And we are so happy and excited to be back for another week of the podcast.
Ben, we are back. Where have we been?
We have been, on behalf of our Property Palz subscribers, to the US.
United States of America.
We have travelled through multiple cities doing research about what is property like in the United States of America.
And Ben, just give me a quick
I'm going to give you
summary.
a 25-second summary of where we went. We went to LA, we went to San Fran, Las Vegas, New Orleans, Boston, Washington, and New York City.
And that was amazing. Billionaires Row, incredible. Those penthouses there now, they are next level compared to Melbourne, to be honest.
Well,
but we love Melbourne penthouses
No, they are next level in terms of quantums of dollars.
Price,
And I guess once you get up there and you're looking at Central Park, but I'll tell you what, there's some places, maybe you're in East Melbourne or maybe you're looking over the Carlton Gardens.
Yeah.
We do have our own Central Park. That's
Albert
right.
Park. All right, Ben, let's get a move
Anyway,
on.
we've
I know
got
you've done a
5
lot of due diligence
No,
for
because
today's
I couldn't hold it. We had a whole month to do all this work.
And he
so
did it on the plane.
That's right. I was so keen we did it on the plane.
Yep.
Anyway, we're going to get to it. We've got 5 river properties for you. Absolute pearlers, and I'm going to go for number 5.
You are, Ben. Number 5.
Number 5 is 238 River Esplanade, Docklands.
Oh, yeah?
And so this one is a 4-bed, 3-bath, 2-car house. You would call it a house, wouldn't you?
Well,
it's a townhouse house kind of thing.
It's an expensive townie.
That's right.
Well,
and
maybe not expensive, actually.
so private sale, $3.5 million to $3.75 million. Now this is a Mirvac development who developed a lot of that strip just along there, which faces, this house here faces north and literally faces unobstructed views towards the Yarra River, which starts around that area and then curls its way through Melbourne. Now, from what I counted, I went down to Street View and I counted out of these townhouses which are facing north and unobstructed views towards the Yarra River. There's about 23 of them, so it is a limited supply. They are a very unique...
23, very boutique, I'll
extremely
say.
boutique. And when you think about it, it's like, how would you be facing the river and these sort of things? You think of some European cities where you've got these beautiful houses that are facing the river that flows through the city, and this might be your opportunity. Melbourne is at the start of its, modern development of all these apartments and houses and stuff, and so this might be your opportunity.
Ben,
anyway, 23 houses. Did you have something
I was just going
important
to say,
to say?
it's freaking massive.
It is a big boy or girl
Or they.
It's a very big house, this one, isn't it? Because how many beds? We had 4 beds. It's over 3 levels, but it's got an
Technically
awesome
4th.
barbecue rooftop area. Can you
Yeah.
imagine hosting parties there?
Ben, now that'd be a bit of a banger there.
It would be a ripper. And so this one, it's north-facing, beautiful sunlight throughout the apartment. It's got an internal lift. Note that when you've got a lift in your property, you just need to understand you do need to service it each year. So
Bit of
there's a
money,
little
but
bit of fee.
if you're buying $4 million property and you
right.
want that lift in there, it's probably good.
okay.
Yeah.
There's a big apartment tower right behind you. It's not part of your house, but part of the overall precinct, which was also developed by Mirvac.
Wow, Ben.
This one here, it was built in 2018, last sold, and this is what's very interesting, for $3.725 million in February 2017.
So,
5 years ago, actually a bit more than 5 years ago, that would have been off the plan. And if
do
it
you
sells
reckon?
in that
I can
range...
check if it's off the plan, actually. I'll check
Please
if it's
do
off
your
the plan.
DD. If that's sold for that amount, then it hasn't really gone up in value over that time.
Ben, do you reckon
Also,
it was
I
off
went
the
down to
plan?
Google Street View and I went down to 2018 and
It wasn't there?
This thing hadn't been built yet.
Okay, Ben, I'm going to try and find that for you. What do you
So-
think, though? Some of the windows are not obstructed,
bit.
but you're looking out to other buildings.
You're looking back to the side, so you've got the same sort of house or townhouse on one side and on your east and on your west, and some of them do look that way. But look, I think for the stuff looking north, particularly, that is awesome. It is just an absolute bella
Do
of
you
one.
think it's value, Ben?
Well, so I think you'd need to look at the internal area and just find out how much you're paying per square metre. It's very difficult to compare because there's no median house price in Docklands because there just ain't that many houses. But I think it's particularly unique because there is limited river frontage in Docklands. It can get a little bit chilly there sometimes, but it's
A bit windy.
unique.
I can say it's windy. I've been down there, especially when Ben's down there.
Oh, that's a funny one. And then once if you go down there, it is within walking distance of the CBD. You're unlocking that new Fisherman's Bend precinct, which is on its way and developing. It's going to be one of Melbourne's fastest developing precincts for the next, 30, 40, 50 years. So I think it's a unique one. It's a big amount of money, but then again, some people might see value. Anyway, get to number 4,
Ben.
Marcus.
You're right, it wasn't built.
Ah.
It was bought off the plans. So,
There you go. But in 2 stages? No, maybe 1.
oh,
maybe.
it's true. Anyway.
Let's go on to number 4.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, number 4, Benjamin. 244. Can you please bring it up? Thank you. Napier Street, Fitzroy. Now, Benjamin. 2 bed, 1 bath, 0 cars. Auction, $960 to $1.05 million.
Ooh.
So, this one here is neighbourhood residential zone, land
Okay.
area. Have a guess. It's a tiny.
It's got 140 square metres?
119.
Oh, tell you what, how good is that Property
Well, Ben,
Palz?
sometimes quantity isn't all, it's quality.
That's right.
Size doesn't always matter in this instance.
It doesn't in this instance,
But-
because this one has a lot of value, doesn't it?
Value as well, but Ben, when you look at the rate,
Yep.
1.05 million divided by 119, $8,823 per square metre on land for neighbourhood res.
So
Heritage,
that's not, I don't think that's crazy. Also, too, remember, it's got existing improvements there. So there's a lot of that value is in the existing improvements and the location. So tell us about that location.
Now,
Marcus.
Ben, location, footsteps from Brunswick and Smith Streets, electric shopping and celebrated eateries, plus city-bound trams on the doorstep, local kindergartens and schools nearby, a short 2-kilometre stroll into the heart of the CBD.
Well, that's good. But now let's talk about, that's the macro. Let's talk about the micro. You know what, like that street and where on that street you're on.
Street. Yeah, Napier Street is amazing, Ben. You're in the middle.
That's right, but this street itself, Marcus, you were telling me about before, is that, so there's been quite a lot of development on the other side of the road.
Yes.
There's, I think it's called C and, oh gosh, not C and L or C and W. Anyway, it's got a big,
opposite
very
the
famous,
cafe.
that's right, big famous cafe that's directly opposite you. So you can open your wall, cross the street and you're at the cafe or you're at the door to the cafe.
Wow.
There's also just down the street a little bit to the west, east-west, or down one way, and you've got a lot of the new apartment developments that are there. So Millie have done a couple of those. There's another one that's on the corner there that's been bought recently. There's one an inside lot which is being developed at the moment, and I think maybe sold, maybe not. But these are luxury, quite premium apartments.
It's a great location.
So I think, for a diverse range of buyers and occupiers, families, singles, young, old, I think it suits all. And this one here, you've got a house. It is a house,
You
right?
do, Ben. It's a cottage-style facade house dressed in decorative wrought iron lace and recently updated single-front terrace offers effortless modern living. I think it's just, the location is great. You get compact living, I'd say, but 2 bedrooms that are back-to-back. Now, there's a fireplace, I think, in the middle, so hopefully there's a bit of a buffer. Is it an issue that they're back-to-back?
Well, with a lot of these houses that were built around, these workers' cottages or these original kind of houses, that's just how they were built. So you can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
Is there an issue you don't have a car?
Yes, I think there is an issue, but you might have a permit with this one.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, so I
you
think
can
I
get a
don't think
permit.
it's that too much of
I
an
don't
issue
think so
unless you've
either.
got a really expensive car that you're trying to protect.
Yeah.
But I also think there's one little potential issue with this one. It's like, Ben, you're in the front bedroom at night. You're like, got to take a bit of a slash.
You got to go to the dunny.
You need to go. Your partner or your friend's having a bit of a dinner. They're in the kitchen. You got to go from the front bedroom through the living room, through the kitchen to the dunny.
Well, I think
Naked.
ideally, you'd like it to be located and maybe a slightly different location. But
probably want it between.
I don't think it's the absolute end of the world because, look, it's only so big, and where else can you put it on this? This is a smallish sort of block, 120, 119 square metres of land. You got that tiny courtyard in the back, and you got a veggie patch as well. Yes, I agree with you.
It's not too bad. It's bees knees kind of
And
stuff.
you got the living room there, I guess, a little bit of a window. It's pretty good.
Lastly, Ben, no car space. You said the living space is large enough. I think, and overall, I think it presents good value for even a sub $1 million is a great buy.
I think so. Well, anyway, so let's come on to number 3. Now we are staying in the same suburb. This is Unit 213, 96 Charles Street, Fitzroy. Now, we have done reviews around this location. In fact, maybe in this very location. Now, this is an apartment which is a 1 bed, 1 bath, 1 car, an auction quoted for $590,000 to $630,000. Now, when you hear that range, Marcus, what bell is ringing?
Ben, it rings my bell about being a first-time buyer.
That's right, it rings the first home buyer bell. And so this one here, it's been quoted, within that range. And as we've mentioned a couple of times on the podcast, and all our our dedicated Property Palz followers will know that In Victoria, there's stamp duty saving. If you purchase a property under $600,000, there is no stamp duty payable. Within metropolitan Melbourne, if you purchase it between $600,000 to $750,000, you do have to pay stamp duty, but it's on a what would you call
Rising scale.
On a rising
Incremental.
scale. So it rises quite fast, but you're better off because stamp duty payable normally is 6.5%.
Yep.
Which can be quite a significant amount. But at that range, here, if you're buying around that $600,000, you might pay none or absolutely minimal.
Quick one, Ben. Do you think they'll raise it from 600 to 700K eventually, just because of the way that our prices are
They
going?
have to, right? Because as price rises, well, then more and more people can't, they
Correct.
don't benefit from those stamp duty savings. And in this sort of housing
crisis.
crisis, where first-home buyers, it can be very challenging for people because of high interest rates and just general lack of stock. I think that's something they're going to consider. But this is a good one to consider. It's a one bed, so sometimes, it's a one bed, but there is a study.
Now that is a definite study. Good old 2.3 by 2.2. I'd probably be able to touch both sides on that tall.
I think that's really attractive though. Like it's a
Working
one better
from
price
home.
in Fitzroy, but you're right, that could be a study where you work from. Or it could be the guest bedroom, maybe it's a pull down bed.
Yeah,
or just
good old
a
pulley.
small bed. I think this is really attractive. Look, you got the tree in the front. We'll pop up a photo of it. A little bit of a chair there.
The blue wall.
The timber floorboards
The
and stuff.
parquetry.
Wow, I think this is really attractive. Now it isn't brand new. It's last sold for $535,000 in June 2019. So if it sells for with about $600,000 over that 4 or so year time, it's gone up a little bit. That's not too bad. It's gone up, approximately 10% maybe? 10%? 2.5 every year, 3%, it's not too bad. And then in February 2008, which would have been when it first sold and was first built, sold for $425,000.
525?
$425,000.
Oh, sorry, 425. Ben, do you like the baby blue of the main bedroom?
Well, blue can be some people's favourite colour.
Yeah, so I'm just looking in the main bedroom. It's a bit of a shame that the windows, there are two windows, one small one that's facing the front and one's facing the balcony. Hopefully you get a little bit of natural light. It is facing northish, that window, from the balcony, which is not too bad.
And that's good. That's good. That is a good point. So if we pop up the floor plans, the main bedroom has got 2 windows, one of which is a small kind of almost slot-like window, and then the other one is a larger one which faces the balcony, but you benefit from that northern light.
Yeah, and it also has a very compact kitchen bed. I actually think it's smart
and
for
a
the
bench,
space.
the kitchen bench there, that's really useful.
Compact. And how big do you think it is?
So I think they mentioned on the listing, they said 67 square metres, but I think that probably includes the balcony, which might be around 4 times 1.8. They'll do the maths. Look, that's about 7 square metres. So then you've got about 60 square metres, and if it sells within the middle of that sort of range, around 10,000 a square metre.
I'm quick maths.
Now, there was one in the building that did sell, unit 405, slightly different location, but on the second level, and it sold for $525,000 in February this year. So that is below where we are at the moment, but maybe this one here is slightly nicer.
Oh, yeah?
And so, look, I think, it's a good location.
First home buyer, I think it's a really good option.
And what a place to live as a first home buyer, right?
Wow, yeah.
Or a downsizer even, but, close to Smith Street,
Or
close
an
to Brunswick Street.
upsizer if you want.
Or left or right sizer. Anyway,
like it.
on to number 2.
Now, Ben, I'm taking you to South Yarra.
Oh, okay.
Good old 2-bed, 1 bath, 1 car, 11 of 27 Avoca Street, South Yarra.
What a location.
Private sale, 600 to 660.
Now that is an attractive quote range.
Oh, it is, Ben, and it's an internal area. It says 67 square metres. So if I do the math, 660 divided by 67, $9,850 per square metre.
And that's why you got the maths prize in school.
Oh yes, I actually did,
You actually
which is
did,
unbelievable. Yeah. Built in 1970 and is on the first floor, I think. Is it too low being on the first floor? You've got car parking below you, Ben?
Ground or first floor?
Or first floor, I think. I think ground is technically your car parking from the way I'm looking at it.
Well then, no, you're above the ground. That's okay.
You see where
I reckon that's good. You're high enough. I think
So
you're high
that's
enough.
it,
Yep, that's
yeah.
high enough.
Okay.
I like it.
He's high. I like it. So sold for last purchase in 2013 for 590K. Not a massive increase, but hey, at least it's gone up. And then sold in 1978. Guess how much it sold for, Ben?
So in 1978, 78.
Come on,
$25,000?
Yeah, you're close. 38K.
Oh, I nearly got it.
Not bad.
Not too
Location
bad.
is awesome. Near South Yarra train station and walkable. I think it's to Fulton Park. Bedrooms are separated by a bathroom, both sizable with 2.8 by 3.5. That's a big boy. Or
2.8 is a little bit skinnier than 3, but because it's 3.5 metres wide, it probably balances it out. So
I agree.
it's an acceptable size bedroom.
The living room is very spacious and has a balcony you can utilise too. But why doesn't the floor plan have an orientation, Benjamin?
Oh, that's a good point. So we'll just pop it up now. And so
Can you go to the floor plan, please?
when we get to this floor plan, they haven't located where
Oh,
the
they have on
orientation-
this one.
No,
Oh, no,
that's
sorry,
the
that was your mouse.
So
like, I forgot.
whenever
I
you don't
missed.
see something on a floor plan, be it the dimensions or the orientation, it's probably because it's not the most desirable. Now I'm guessing what would that
But
be?
it might be.
Faces south, maybe,
That's what
or
I
faces
thought, but I
west.
didn't want to 100% say that it was. So maybe check when you go to the listing.
Now you want to inspect, you want to see it. What stood out to me, Marcus, is that bathroom is right in the middle of those two bedrooms, bit of separation.
Great
You like it.
separation, yeah. And Ben, when you go to a listing, make sure you go in the afternoon, in the morning, at different times, so
Yeah.
you get an understanding of the feeling
That's
of
right.
the actual
How it feels.
daylight
That's good.
in the space. And Ben, do you like how they've done the bedroom with a different wall colour?
I think it's okay.
I really like it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Now-
But the last thing I want to say is it's great location, but do you like an over bathtub shower, Ben?
Well, I don't think that's too bad if you like a bath, right? It's better than if you. Sometimes it's better to have the option of a bath or a shower
Yep.
than just having a shower.
You and I had during our childhood days.
did, and
We did love it.
Occasional bath here and there, so I thought it was pretty good.
660k, 2 bedrooms in a great location. I really like it.
Great bones. It's very attractive at that sort of price range, and 2 bedrooms. You know, it's nowadays sometimes people go with this work from home phenomenon. Is that or trend?
they?
Trend is that one is your bedroom, one is your work from home kind of study. So it might. That's why the 1 bedroom could be okay.
Yes.
Anyway,
Ben, I'm
okay.
going to throw it over to you for
Thank
good
you.
old
Number one.
one.
Let's jump to it. We're going straight into the Melbourne CBD. We are going to Unit 5 of 43 Little Bourke Street, Chinatown, Melbourne.
Oh, Ben, this heritage facade,
Now,
my
this is
lord.
a beautiful one. It's a 2-bed, 1 study, 2 bath, EOI, quoted from $1.1 million to $1.2 million. It's in the Liverpool Chambers building that was actually built. It's part of an old Melbourne Police East station, and it was built originally in 1890 in Italian Renaissance style, built by the Public Works Department, and then it was refurbished, subdivided, and converted into a ground floor retail and then kind of offices and residential above in 1984. So it's still one of the oldest CBD conversions.
You've banged through your due diligence there. I like
That's
it.
it.
Now, Ben, can I just say something? One of my favourite pizza shops is actually below this one.
Ah, it is quite nice.
And so if you want to go to the actual listing, then have pizza afterwards.
That's it. You can have a pizza. You can also have a wine because there's Punch Lane Wine Bar nearby.
Would you like to punch it, Ben?
Yep.
What do you think about the layout, Ben? So we've got a main bedroom, primary. Then you've got your secondary, and then you've got a little studio.
Red lights, red lights, red lights. Where are the dimensions on this floor plan though, right?
That study might be not that big.
Yeah, when I was looking at this, I was like, you know what, 2
Not red lights,
bedrooms.
it's just...
It's just, blinkers. When you've got these 2 bedrooms, they're separated by not 1 but 2 bathrooms. One's an ensuite, one's kind of the guest bathroom. So we'll pop the floor plan up
So
here.
if you snore and you're in America at the same time, you don't need to worry about it.
That's it. I mean, I didn't sleep most nights because Marky was snoring. And so this study there too as well is, I think that's actually quite attractive for someone who wants to study or wants to work at home. And when I went in there, it's quite a nice feel of
you went
the
in it?
bedrooms. When I went in there from my computer, when I was looking at the online listing, I think it looks actually quite nice on the inside, particularly the living room area with that. Look at that, the floor there, exposed concrete with a little bit of aggregate in the floor there in the
looks
kitchen.
red.
It's got quite a nice feel to it. And then the windows, while you look onto the brick masonry of other buildings, that's not too bad. That's actually quite hip and cool. And I think the way that's been furnished is quite nice too.
So Ben, how big is it?
Well, that's one thing that I was hoping that we were going to do, but you didn't do. But my guess is it's 92, say, just over 100 square metres. I think it's quoting over 10k a square metre, but that's probably partly driven because it's got a heritage sort of thing to it.
for that, Ben.
Well,
What do you think?
no car.
Ooh.
That's one
Do
thing.
you like walking?
2 bed, 1 study, 2 car. Well, when you're in the CBD and if you work and enjoy your free time in the CBD, it can be quite attractive.
That could be a deal breaker, to be honest.
Yeah, but then again, I think for a CBD sort of thing, could be office, could be apartment, I don't reckon it's a bad option and someone's going to fall in love with it. So that's it, Marcus. Come on, we're 5 River Properties. We are so excited to be here. We're so excited to be back.
Happy to be back from the US. Lovely looking at their Melbourne properties. And Ben, you know what? I think that wraps it up.
I think that's it. We've got a race to the finish line this year. We've got a couple of weeks left. So make sure, tell your mum, dad, brother, sister, cousins,
Niece,
everyone. We just
dog.
need to get the word out about Property Pals and we're going to see you next week.
Next time.
See you later,
Bye.
guys. Bye.